Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. When we look at the Cleveland Browns heading into this NFL season, there's a mix of anticipation, uncertainty, and a lot of questions that are already being asked by fans, analysts, and even the team's own management. The Browns, as many of you know, have been building towards something bigger for years now. And after a couple of playoff appearances in 2020 and 2023, the expectations are sky high. But this season, everything seems a bit more complicated, especially when it comes to the quarterback position, which remains the most critical spot on the team and perhaps the most debated among fans. Now, it's almost a given that Joe Flacco will start the season as the QB1 for the Browns. The logic is simple. He's a veteran with a wealth of NFL experience, and at least initially, he's the most seasoned option the team has. But let's be honest, the circumstances surrounding this decision are far from ideal. The Browns' schedule is brutal right out of the gate, with the season opener against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that's been improving steadily over the past few seasons and is always a tough out. Following that, Cleveland faces 5 consecutive games against playoff teams from the previous campaign. That stretch could be pivotal, not just for their record, but for the confidence within the locker room. Considering the roster's current state, it's hard not to worry about the potential for a rough start. The Browns have faced some setbacks this offseason, injuries that have hit key players, and deficiencies in certain areas that could expose them early on. Injury luck has not been kind to Cleveland, and with some of their depth tested, there's a real possibility that the team could find itself with a 2-4, 1-5, or even an 0-6 record after those opening games. That would be a nightmare scenario for any team, especially one with postseason aspirations and a fan base hungry for success. But here's where things get interesting for Browns fans. While that kind of record early on might seem discouraging, it could also serve as a strategic advantage. Why? Because it would give the coaching staff and management a chance to evaluate the situation more clearly, and importantly, it might accelerate a pivot to the team's younger quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, who are both eager to prove themselves at the NFL level. These guys are not just practice squad prospects, they're learning, adjusting, and soaking in the NFL experience. A rough start could mean that Cleveland's decision-makers might decide to give them a shot sooner than expected, especially if Flacco struggles. And let's talk about what that means. Mary Kay Cabot from Cleveland. Com recently made a very insightful point. She explained that if the season begins to spiral, the Browns won't hesitate to move on from Flacco early, especially if he's turning the ball over or taking unnecessary sacks. It's all about the team's success, after all. If the offense isn't clicking, and the veteran isn't producing the way they need, the Browns are prepared to give Gabriel the reins. And from what we've seen in camp and preseason, the coaching staff is high on Gabriel's potential. They love the way he's performed, and they're not afraid to make a quick change if the results aren't there. It's also worth mentioning that Shedeur Sanders, who currently sits as QB3 on the roster, could have a role to play later in the season. He's a talented young player, fresh out of college, and the Browns might see an opportunity to develop him further if they're not in playoff contention by then. Sanders could get some live action towards the end of the year, especially if Cleveland's situation at quarterback is already decided, or if they want to give him a taste of NFL competition. Now, what about the other options? The Browns' front office thought enough of Kenny Pickett to trade for him earlier this year, but that move was ultimately short-lived. When the Raiders came calling with a 5th-round pick after their backup, Aidan O'Connell, went down with a wrist injury, Cleveland was quick to make the deal. They recouped that 5th-round pick they originally sent to Philadelphia for Pickett, showing some smart roster management. That move gave them a veteran backup in Flacco, which is crucial for stability, especially when dealing with rookie quarterbacks. In terms of depth, the Browns also tried out Tyler Huntley during the preseason, but ultimately decided to release him before final roster cuts. More recently, they added Bailey Zapp, a fourth-year quarterback, presumably for practice squad duties for now. Whether Zapp gets a shot at the starting role depends on how things unfold. If Flacco struggles and Gabriel isn't ready, Cleveland might turn to him as a quick relief option. That's a scenario many fans are watching closely, especially considering how unpredictable the NFL can be when it comes to injuries and performance slumps. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. The Browns have a talented roster, with a strong defense and a promising young core, but the quarterback position remains the single most critical element for their success. The team's management and coaching staff are well aware of that, and their willingness to pivot quickly shows a clear understanding of the urgency needed this season. This kind of flexibility might be what sets them apart, being ready to adapt rather than sticking stubbornly to a plan that isn't working. Another important aspect is the development of their young quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel, who has impressed in camp, is more than just a backup. He's a prospect with potential to become a franchise quarterback if given the right opportunities and coaching. The same goes for Shedeur Sanders, whose talent and athleticism have turned heads. If the team can give these guys enough reps and confidence early on, it could pay dividends in the long run. The Browns aren't just thinking about 2024, but also about building a sustainable, competitive team for years to come. So, what does this all mean for Browns fans? It's a season filled with uncertainty, yes, but also with opportunity. The team's early games will be crucial in setting the tone. If Flacco can manage to lead the offense effectively, keep turnovers down, and get the ball moving, then perhaps the Browns can defy expectations and start strong. But if they stumble out of the gate, don't be surprised if we see Gabriel or even Sanders stepping in sooner than we thought, making this season a fascinating experiment in quarterback development and team resilience. We've seen in recent years how important leadership and adaptability are in the NFL, and the Browns seem to be embracing that philosophy fully. This season will test not just their talent, but their mental toughness, their depth, and their ability to adapt on the fly. The AFC North is stacked with talent, from the Bengals to the Ravens and Steelers, and every game will be a battle. Cleveland's success could very well hinge on how quickly they can adjust to adversity and whether their young quarterbacks are ready to step up when it counts. Now, as we get closer to the season, expectations are mixed. Some fans are optimistic, believing that with the right coaching and a bit of luck, the Browns can surprise everyone. Others are more cautious, knowing how unpredictable the NFL can be, especially with a quarterback situation that's still very much in flux. But one thing is clear, this season is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory for Cleveland, filled with drama, development, and the relentless pursuit of their first Super Bowl appearance in decades. And I have to say, the energy around the team is palpable. The players are motivated, the coaching staff is strategizing, and the fans are eagerly awaiting to see how it all unfolds. Will Joe Flacco hold down the fort long enough for Cleveland to stay afloat? Or will Gabriel or Sanders get their shot early, igniting a new chapter for the franchise? Whatever happens, this season promises to be a roller coaster, and you, Browns fans, are right in the middle of it. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In the end, what we're really looking at here is a team that's willing to adapt and evolve, even under pressure. The Browns have the talent, the coaching, and the desire to make this season a memorable one. The quarterback situation is fluid, and that's what makes it so exciting for fans who love a good story of resilience and growth. Remember, the NFL is about moments. Those big, defining moments when a young quarterback steps up, or a veteran proves his worth under pressure. So Browns fans, keep your eyes peeled. Watch how the team handles the early tests, how the young quarterbacks perform in live action, and how the coaching staff manages the ups and downs of the season. This is a team that's not just playing for wins, but for their future, building a foundation for sustained success. And with the passion and support from the fans like you, Cleveland can rise above the challenges, turn the page on adversity, and aim for heights they've only dreamed of in the past. The AFC North is tough, no doubt about it. But Cleveland's resilience and strategic flexibility might just give them the edge they need. Whether it's Flacco leading at the start or Gabriel taking over mid-season, this team is on the brink of something exciting. It's a season filled with potential, surprises, and the kind of storylines that keep NFL fans glued to their screens. So stay tuned, keep supporting your Browns, and let's see where this roller coaster takes us. One thing's for sure, this year Cleveland is not backing down, and you, as a dedicated fan, are part of this incredible journey. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.